Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to get relief from pain that is in your groin. In this video, I'm going to show many different exercises that are designed to help relieve groin pain. They work on stretching and strengthening the joints and muscles of the hip and pelvic floor. Some of them might just get you better in a minute or less. Now, before doing these exercises, it's important to get a proper diagnosis as to what is causing your groin pain. For example, it is possible to get groin pain from a labral tear, hip arthritis, your back, and even your kidneys. But if you're sure your pain is coming from your muscles and joints, then this is for you. The exercises I show here increase in difficulty, so you can use them as a rehab program, stopping after the first 2 or 3 exercises when you initially start rehabbing your groin and progressing to work your way through them all as your pain eases and your function returns. Okay, the first stretch we're going to start with is pretty simple. You're going to lie on your back and you're going to simply let your legs move apart. Now, if you've got a recent groin tear or strain, this can actually be enough. This can be enough for you. But if you want to add a little bit of pressure with your hands, you can. So the first is simply just stretching out the muscles of your groin inside of your legs here, and then placing your hands on for a little bit of overstretch. Once you're comfortable with that, you can put a little bit of pressure on your hands here and move inwards and outwards. So you're moving inwards and outwards against the resistance of your hands. Now let's say you've hurt your right groin here. You can actually just do that on the one side, which is great because the body does some interesting things. It remembers what you do on one side and it actually makes the other side stronger. So doing this on one side will actually help the other side, but only do that if it's too painful. The second stretch is moving your leg in a big circle. So it's called hip circumduction. What you're going to do is you're going to take your injured side here up and then slowly down to the side and then round. And what most people find when they've hurt their groin is that something around here is okay and easy, but when they get up to here, it gets a little bit more difficult or more painful. So you're going to work in areas where there's less pain and constantly push the edge of your pain envelope to work into a bigger hip circumference. And as for reps and sets, you can start by doing 10 and do that 3 times through. It's a pretty average way to start, and you can add more reps and sets onto that as you go. So both of those movements were involving an active range of motion in the hip, but now we can go back to a more kind of static movement or isometric. So place something in between your knees. Now it can be a rolled up towel. In this case, I've got a football. It can be whatever you want. Place in your knees, lie down, take a nice deep breath in, and then squeeze. And what we're doing here is we're isometrically strengthening the muscles on the inside of your leg. And you may even get a little pop or a click in the bone and the joint in the front of your pelvis here called the pubic symphysis, and that can actually realign your pelvis. That's a really nice thing to get. So you're squeezing this maybe 15 to 30 seconds, then relax, and then go again, and do that 3 times through. Next, we're going down to the ground. So put a mat on the ground, something to look after your knees. And what I want you to do here is do a half kneeling, sort of rocking back type movement. So you're going to get into a half kneeling position like this. You can put the injured side this side or this side. You do it both sides, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to slowly move your hips backwards and forwards into the area of stretch. And again, for repetitions, you can do sets of 10. So 3 sets of 10 will really work nicely here. And then make sure you do this on both sides. Once you've done the half kneeling rock backs, to really get into the groin and help relieve groin pain, you can do a stretch called the Frogger, where you take both legs apart, take your feet apart as well, and see if you can flatten them out. And then you're going to push back, the same sort of movement you were just doing, but you're pushing back and getting both groins to stretch at the same time. Now, if you want to take this exercise to the next level, you push back until you feel a stretch, and then you squeeze your knees together as though you're pushing them into the mat. So right now I'm tensing my groin muscles here and here, and I'm squeezing them together to get an isometric contraction of those muscles, and then I relax. Once I relax, I can actually go a little bit further and I can repeat. And so you squeeze again for about 5 seconds, hold, squeeze, 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 then relax and see if you can go back a little bit further. Now if that's too much, no problems, just go forwards and backwards into these rockbacks. Now a nice counter movement to this is to go onto all fours and then just move your hips left and right. And you get a little stretch on the outside of your hip here as you go this way, or this side as you go this way. And you can couple this movement, 10 to 15 repetitions of this, with this movement. The last stretch here is a way of taking the hip from the more groin focused to more movement focused. It's an exercise to do that. So I'm going to put something underneath my knee here just so it doesn't hurt so much. And I'm going to get into a forwards backwards lunge. Okay, so from the side it looks like this. Here I'm targeting the front of my hip, but also this stretches the groin on this side a little bit and the groin on this side a little bit. Now assuming this is not painful, I can then start to move my upper body into rotation, and I can rotate my body both ways. So now we've got my spine moving my hips to get a different stimulus into my groin muscles. And once I'm comfortable with that, I can simply take my foot out to the side and now move my hips to the side a little bit more. So I've got more of a focus on the groin and the way that stretches. Same thing, I can move my upper body one way, move my upper body the other way. Assuming that's okay, I can then move my foot out a little bit further. And now I'm really going straight for this. It's called an abduction movement in my groin. And I can rotate when I do this and rotate when I do this. Okay, so with this one, you're looking to do 10 to 15 movements with your foot in each position. And rotating maybe 5 times one way or 5 times the other way in each one of those movements. If you found the exercises in this video helpful, please support the channel by giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, click on that notification bell. Thank you very much for doing those things. Your support really helps get this information out there. Now, if you have any comments or questions, just put them in the comments below and I'll answer you as soon as I can. Also, you may know I help people recover from illness and injury using a combination of specific exercises and lifestyle medicine, but I have a focus on scoliosis. If you have scoliosis or back pain, check out my online courses by following the link in the description below or in the first pinned comment. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be up soon.